Can you climb one-tricking a champion and building a non-meta build path on it? In today's profile review, we're going to be reviewing a gold 4 Diana one-trick who does not like the current Yaksho demonic embrace build path that is so popular and is terrorizing the Rift right now. So we're going to be breaking down exactly what it would look like if this player wants to continue going for the more burst mage, non-meta, less efficient build path versus the more efficient build path, how that affects their rank, and focusing on the other big things that particularly one-trick junglers in gold struggle with. Now, before we get into this profile review, if you would like your very own profile review, please check out the link in the YouTube description below. As well as if you're interested in the paid coaching solution I talk about towards the end of this video, please book a one-on-one call with me, also with a link in the YouTube description below. Let's get into the video. So currently you are gold 4 and your goal, you don't actually have a specific goal in mind. You just want to get as far as you can, which I think is a really, really good goal. But I should also say that it's good to have goals because if we don't know where we're going, it's very hard to get there. So I would recommend having an initial goal, even if it's just plat 4, and then once you get to plat 4, you change that to diamond 4. Doesn't really matter. As long as you keep something like that, it's good to have a vision in mind so that you know what you're aiming for and you can reward yourself and feel happy once you get there. Now, the biggest things that you're saying that are holding you back right now are your champion pool, your decision making, and the fact that you don't like the tank Diana build at the moment. So we're going to be looking at those 3 things, and we're also going to be looking at your champ pool, your deaths, and your ganks. So, both of us identified your champion pool as something we need to focus on. So let's look at your champion pool and break that down. So the first thing is to get to platinum, to get to diamond, to get to D1, to get to masters, you can one-trick Diana. Don't think that having only one champion in your champion pool or one-tricking is not a viable way to climb in League of Legends. It's one of the fastest ways and it's one of the most effective ways. And for someone like you, where you have a 61% win rate on your Diana, on your main, it basically just means we need to play more of that champion, not less. The key to you climbing right now is your Diana. If we took your Diana out of your game, you'd be averaging like a 50% win rate or something, and we can't climb with a 55% win rate. So as long as your Diana is at least a 55% win rate or higher in your ranked games, do not worry about her, keep playing her, and that's all you need to have for your champion pool. If you want to expand your champion pool, that's another problem, and what I would recommend is having 2 accounts. You keep this account and you keep one-tricking Diana on it, and then you have your second account, you queue up in ranked on that one because we don't care about the rank of that one because it's not our main account, and we learn new junglers on that. So maybe we want to learn a bit more Nocturne, or maybe we want to get our Elise better, or maybe we want to learn a new champ like Vi or a Mumu or Zac. Doesn't matter. Use that second account and use that for learning, and then use this account for climbing. And when you split that, you preserve your MMR, you're going to climb faster on your main, and you're also going to have the ability to learn in confidence in a safe zone that isn't going to affect your rank, which is really, really key. Let's get into the second one, deaths. Right now, you are dying too much on your Diana overall. It's good to see in your last 20 games, you've got your death rate down. Anything higher than a 5.5 death rate as a jungler in gold, I would generally be a bit worried about. Particularly as Diana, she's generally not needing to die any more than, 5.5 times per game. And obviously that's an average over, 20, 30 games. Not, obviously you can't die only 5.5 times. You can either die 5 times or 6 times. But that is the goal I like players to aim for, particularly when they're in gold and particularly when they need to get their death count down a little bit. So that's something just to watch and keep an eye on, because if your death rates, like games like this are really important, because we got to figure out why you're dying 10 times and your team's still carrying you. Like, you should never have died 10 times and you win the game. You should need to learn how to get carried, and you need to learn not to die that many times. There's never an excuse to die 10 times in a game. You should never have a reason for that unless you're playing a very tough engaged support or tank jungler, and it's literally your role to suicide to engage team fights. But that's very rare, and that isn't your champion pool. So keep an eye on your deaths and make sure, particularly in your losses and the wins where you feel like you have no impact, you're reducing your deaths. Now, the third one I want to talk about, and this is something that you need to improve on, great goal difference at 15, by the way, great win rate on Diana, your ganks. When I look and review gold jungle accounts, one of the biggest things I see and one of the biggest issues I see is they're not ganky enough. The average gold 4 jungler needs to be ganking 4 times in the first 15 minutes. So generally it's 2 times bot, 1 time mid, 1 time top. That is really the meta of ganks. That's how you want to really distribute your ganks if you're looking at a perfect distribution. However, each game is different. Sometimes you might put all your ganks in bot lane. Sometimes you might put all your ganks in top. Very rare and not recommended, but maybe there's a reason why you're trying to go to, like you're trying to force top lane. Maybe you have a Jax top or an Irelia top and they need that support in order to snowball and take over the game. However, it's generally considered right now in the meta and for the foreseeable future that bot lane is the biggest lane to impact, because when you go bot lane, there are 50% of the players all in one lane when you gank, which means if you can get a successful gank off when 50% of the players are involved, you impact 50% of the game, give or take. And obviously it doesn't exactly work like that, but there's two supports, 2 AD carries, and when you put yourself into bot lane as well and you win that, you've now got 2 people dead and you've got 3 people ahead. Yourself, your ally AD carry and your ally support, and then you can do things like dragon, invade, or just simply get a recall and continue the tempo. Now, let's talk a little bit about this Diana issue that you're having, because right now you don't like the tank build. So you've really got 2 options here, and you already know them, Mario, and you're already kind of doing them. One, we play the more inefficient AP burst mage Diana that you like to play, and it delays our climbing because it isn't the most optimal build path. Now that's fine. You might still be able to climb out of gold. You might still be able to climb out of platinum with that build, but just understand that you're trading fun or enjoyment for efficiency. So when we look at builds in League of Legends, we always want to go the most optimal build because that gives us the best chance of winning the game. Pro players, one tricks, they have put all the work in to figure out what is the best build in League of Legends for this specific champion. And for us to veer or steer away from that build needs to be a conscious choice that we are aware of the risks when doing that. So yes, you can climb with your electrocute burst Diana, sorry, not electrocute, your Conqueror burst Diana build if you want. But just understand it's most likely going to slow and delay your progress to climbing, because right now the tank Diana Yak show is just the meta at the moment. It's the most efficient, it's the most optimal. So when we're looking at builds that we don't like, make sure you're understanding that, okay, I can go the build I want to play, but be comfortable with you're going to lose some win rate for that. You might lose 1%, you might lose 2%, you might lose 3%, you might not lose any percent. But understand that it's not giving you the best chance to climb in the fastest way possible. Whereas that tank build could increase your win rate by 1%, 2%, 3%, sometimes even 5% or higher. So as long as you've got that understanding in mind when making a choice between I want to play this build versus I want to play that build, you will be fine. You'll still climb. It will really just depend on how quickly you want to get out of gold or reach whatever goal you want to play. And given that you don't really have a goal, I would suggest with players like that, you're generally trying to get better at the game. And usually we don't want to be playing suboptimal builds, because suboptimal builds don't really translate well into getting better at the game, because it's just adding unnecessary inefficiencies into our gameplay. And in League of Legends, we want to remove as many inefficient things as possible to give ourselves the best chance of climbing. Now, Mario, that concludes the profile review. You're doing a lot of good things here. You've got a really good win rate. You've got a really good goal difference at 15. What I would really want to see in your 15 minutes is focusing more on ganks and less on farming in your first 15 minutes, because particularly in gold, if you can get early ganks in, you can snowball the game, whether through yourself or through your laners, and the mid-game, late-game transition becomes a lot easier. Objectives become a lot easier, team fights become a lot easier, and ending and closing out the game becomes a lot easier. But you're a good player. Keep playing your Diana, keep focusing on never letting your win rate overall drop below 55%. And yeah, That's what I'd say. Now, if you're looking to get better at League of Legends, if you're looking to accelerate your climbing, and if you're looking to get better on your Diana particularly, or even learn a new champion, what I would recommend for coaching is a monthly ranked climbing plan. And because you don't really have a goal in mind, we'd be really breaking it down month by month, focusing on baby steps. So this month, can we get you to gold, from gold 4 to gold 2? Next month, gold 2 to plat 4. And the idea of that is through game reviews, statistic tracking, goal setting, and group masterclasses, we will be helping break down the biggest things that are holding you back from climbing, focusing on them in the game reviews, and then implementing practice activities and ranked solo queue to get better, to iron out those weaknesses and to remove them completely from your game, while also focusing on building your strengths. Ideally, eventually turning you from a gold player 1 month to, in 3-4 months time, into a plat player, into another 6 months time, a diamond player. And the idea of that is the coach follows you every step along the way, and whenever you get stuck or you feel like you can't climb or something's going wrong but you don't know what's going wrong, that's where the coach comes in, and that's where we help you get over that hurdle, stop being hard stuck, and continue your journey to climbing Mario. So that is a paid coaching solution, but if you are interested in learning more about that, once you watch this, reach out to me on Discord and you can book your free one-on-one call with me where I'll go over it with you in Discord. I'll show you exactly what the personalized coaching plan would look like for you, what your focus areas are, what your current stats are, and where we need to get you to. So I hope you enjoy this profile review. Cheers, good luck on the Rift Mario, and I'll talk to you once you've watched this.